Hello. Today I just kind of wanted to talk about Japanese games and Japanese devs and, just kind of my love for mini games made by, Japanese studios and developers and all that good stuff. Now, one of my one of my first videos I've made, um, was about Fumito Ueda and Aiko in particular. I really just love his style. When I look at a Ueda game, I know it's a game that he's done. And yeah, he's only done 3 games, but they all have his unique style to them that I love. And I can say that about a lot of Japanese devs, and that they have their own unique styling and how they tell story, how they, all that good stuff. A couple of my favorite franchises just in general, Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, Nier, love the Souls games, obviously. There's just a really big, rich amount of just goodness out of Japan that I don't get a lot of other places. I'm not saying that Japanese games are better than Western games or anything like that. Just I tend to lean more to what Japan has when they make games and all that good stuff. Again, that's not saying that there's games that are made in the West that I dislike, because there's plenty of games I love, obviously. So, but and I think that's, and one of my favorite games of recent memory is Ghost of Tsushima, which a lot of people in Japan really loved. So that's like, hey, that's cool. But yeah, I think Japanese games just are generally just some of the most fun I have with gaming. Love a lot of the stories they tell, or in terms of gameplay, some of the more fun games, in my opinion, come from Japan. Some of my favorite characters in fiction have all been made by Japanese creators and whatnot. But again, it's kind of, like games like Mario or Zelda or, any of the big Nintendo series, obviously Japanese. And yeah, I think that's, sometimes you kind of forget, like, right, yeah, so many big iconic, things just come out of there, and not necessarily forget, but more that we I don't know what the right word is for that, but I don't know, just I love Japanese games. There's plenty of series made in Japan that I've not really delved that deep into yet. Like, I've kind of always looked at a series, say, like Disgaea, as kind of that's an interesting series, but I don't know if I would be super into it, but, a lot of them are available on the new PS Plus thing, so who knows, maybe I'll check them out at some point. But yeah, it's because I think that's another thing. Like a lot of Japanese creators, a lot of Japanese games, a lot of just different, interesting things that they do with their games. And then of course you have games like Nier. Yoko Taro just kind of flings in all different types of game styles and genres into the game and whatnot, and just kind of gave this weird, fresh thing, kind of keep you on your toes, kind of a thing. And there's plenty of other series that just are just so wonderful in my opinion. A game that I have not actually completed, but as of recording this, I'll probably have streamed it already, but is Dragon's Dogma. That's one game that I've never actually completed yet, but I've played a good amount of on my own, and I really love that game a lot. I remember I saw someone saying something about Dragon's Dogma is obtuse, but in all the right ways. There's a lot of things about the game that's, just kind of there and thrown at you, but never does it feel like it's over the top with it. You kind of just gradually learn, like, oh, that's a thing I can do, and there's a lot of gameplay systems I love in that game, but and again, as of recording this, I haven't streamed it yet, but maybe as soon as this video is out, I'll have streamed it and maybe beaten it. Who knows? But yeah, I think because I remember first time I ever played Ni no Kuni, just kind of shifting to another thing. Like I remember I got a free trial, a 7-day trial to PlayStation Now, and I remember Ni no Kuni was one of the games that was on there. So I was like, I hear this is always kind of been curious about this game. Let's give it a try. And what I played, I really, really loved a lot. And I never got to play it again until they did the remaster of it, and I finally, I streamed it, loved the story. I thought the gameplay was, good for what it was. But I don't know. It's not one of those like instantly like everything that's Japanese game instant, love or anything like that. But I gotta get more of a, open mind when it comes to them, especially now since I've played more games and, my, journey as a gamer, has kind of opened up more interests and more possibilities into trying out different games. And, I don't... Because again, I remember, I got Nier Automata on a whim. Basically, I hear, I heard it's really good. And Nier is now one of my favorite things ever, and I just loved and adore everything Yoko Taro does, because Yoko Taro is awesome. Then eventually, I never got to play the first Nier game, but we obviously, finally got the Nier Replicant version 1.22, that numbers. I never got to play Nier Gestalt, which I know it's kind of a, bit of a topic for some people, but I kind of, in my opinion, I kind of have more connection to the brother-sister dynamic that Replicant has than Gestalt's father-daughter thing, because, I don't know, because, well, I just get with that dynamic more personally. I don't know, but, even saying that, but Emil is my favorite character. just because Emil's just awesome. Tragic, but awesome. A character that's really hard to dislike, obviously, because Emil's just, yeah, Emil's great. But, and then you have creators like, or, you know, Hidetaka Miyazaki with the Souls games, and obviously this year we had Elden Ring, which was really good. Was a really good game. Not the amazing, perfect 100%, 10 out of 10 greatest thing of all time, in my opinion, but I really loved Elden Ring a lot. There was a lot of things about Elden Ring I loved. And I wouldn't say, Miyazaki, you have to change your vision for your games, because there was a couple of things I didn't like. No, I like that Elden Ring was what it was. There are things that, yeah, I would wish were a little bit better here and there, but I still, again, overall, really loved the game a lot. It's not my favorite FromSoft game. I don't even think it's my second favorite. Still, my favorite is Bloodborne. I don't know if that will ever be topped in FromSoft. Maybe if they make an Elden Ring-esque type of game, but basically Bloodborne, maybe that might be, but I don't know. If basically I'm saying if Bloodborne 2 by FromSoft happens and it is like that, then sold. If it's great, obviously, but hopefully more better certain things here and there tweaked a bit to make them better, but again, I appreciate the vision that they went with, and they stuck to it, and yeah, again, I think that's the type of thing about Japanese games in general. They're not just like Dark Souls is not like Nier. Nier is not like Ni no Kuni. Ni no Kuni is not like a Fumito Ueda game, and so on. You know, you have elements and certain things here and there that might be similar, but again, they're all just different types of games, obviously, that range in varying different ways of emotion, too, because Japanese games tend to get me more emotionally invested in things. I don't know what it is, but like it really makes me care more. Not all the time, but generally makes me care more often for the characters and, you know. But again, that was kind of one of the things I really early on in Ni no Kuni just kind of like hit you really hard in the feels. Again, not gonna spoil for anyone who watches and hasn't played Ni no Kuni. I haven't uploaded it on YouTube, but I do suggest either playing on Ni no Kuni or looking up my playthrough, which is on Twitch currently, but maybe I'll either stream it again and then upload it to YouTube, or maybe I'll upload the old stream onto YouTube at some point. I have so many things that are on Twitch that I don't have on YouTube, but yeah, but yeah, I think that's just a thing. Just I love these games, and I want more people to love them as well. I don't know. Again, it's also, you know, it's kind of like what I've mentioned before. Not every game is for everyone. Not all, you know, like Dark Souls, obviously not for everyone. they are games that are not made for everyone in mind. And that's okay. Because again, that's their vision. That's the vision that they were going for, and, I respect it. Again, my favorite series, probably my favorite thing in fiction right now, is still Kingdom Hearts. And again, I've mentioned my kind of journey to becoming a Kingdom Hearts fan and whatnot before, but yeah, it's definitely my number one, with Final Fantasy and Nier as my, talk about series and whatnot. Yeah. Again, there's just so much good in a lot of Japanese games. Again, not everything's made for everyone, like I said, but there's just a lot of really neat stuff that is there and should be appreciated more often, I think. And again, a lot of Japanese games have some really good music. But yeah. So play more games. Definitely, if you're on the fence about a lot of Japanese games, who knows? Maybe you'll find a game that you'll end up loving. Like I said, that's kind of what happened with Ni no Kuni for me. I just kind of I hear this game's pretty good and played it, but it's not necessarily the same thing happened. I think I also ended up buying Persona 5, just kind of being like, hey, I hear good stuff about this, and I was not expecting 100 hours, but because again, it was one of those things I heard vague things about Persona and whatnot. I've always seen it, but not really ever delved too much into the series. And now I love the Persona series, and I'm looking forward to 3 and 4 coming out on consoles and whatnot. Again, it'd be really nice if Persona 1 and 2 would come to consoles, but whatever. I'm just gonna keep mentioning that because Persona 1 and 2 should be played, especially 2. Persona 2's duology is probably my favorite Persona thing, just because. Anyway, yeah, and I think, some people, talk about Fumito Ueda, talk about the awkward controls, the awkward, all that good stuff. If you can get past some jank here and there with the controls and all that, they will be some of the most wonderful games you play. Like, every single time I play Last Guardian, I can get frustrated with Trico. I can get just, like, Trico, no, do this instead. No, listen to me, kind of thing. But by the end, it always hits me. That last part of the game always just kind of smacks me. I was like, yeah, that got me. That always gets me, and never doesn't get me. And again, it's why I make playing that and Shadow of the Colossus every December. And yeah, it's gonna be, I'm just going off on a little whatever. It's gonna be interesting when I finally play Shadow of the Colossus again, because I don't know if I'm gonna go playing with the Queen's Sword or not. Because I have it, and I know it kills Colossi in one hit. Who knows? I know there's a trophy or whatever to do hard mode, in a specific amount of time. The Queen Sword would probably be helpful to that. Because again, kills things in one hit. So least I think that's what it does. That's going to be an interesting playthrough when I play through Shadow of the Colossus again, because I did the time trial thing earlier this year. But, yeah, it's kind of rant there. Again, I'm really looking forward to Fumino Uwata's new game. I think that's going to be really something special, and I will be super happy and excited when that's finally announced. But yeah, again, try out more games. Try out more games, regardless where it's made and whatnot. And, you know, maybe you'll find a new game that you love and you'll get into the series and become a massive fan of it. Who knows? But, yeah, so thank you everyone for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you like. If not, that's cool. I'm gonna have a Twitch channel, which I try to link in the description. And yeah, so until next time.